What it is, YouTube? It's your boy Nixie coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. Okay, this is gonna be a vocal preset today for a really dope artist that I love so much. I had to run it back with a V2. It's going to be Central Cee. So today I got the Central Cee vocal preset for you guys today. So if you guys do like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? And drop more suggestions for artists down below. So here we go, Central Cee V2, let go.
Not to say I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing it. Creep in the changing room at school and teeth from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a rip in it, also stolen phone, no sim in it. Now I got peas, I give it up back, no charity work, trying to write off tax. For not to say
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at school and teeth from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a rip in it, also stolen phone, no sim in it. Now I got peas, I give it up back, no charity work, trying to. Okay, so that's me trying to do my best impression of Central Cee here today. Central Cee's a dope rapper, bro. He done work with Drake. He got 3 million followers on YouTube, you feel me, subscribers, and you gotta understand something about this too, you know. I know some of y'all never been to Europe, but that's a big deal for Europe. Like in Europe, the market for music is different from America, you feel me? So I just think Central Cee is so raw because he's got a huge international following, so that's dope, you know. It's funny because like people don't know, like in the United States, if you tell people, yo, I make music and that's what I want to like do for you know, like for like my life, people will believe you because we know we done seen the Metro Boomins, all the Drakes in the futures, and we know actors and all that stuff is possible. But in Europe, if you tell somebody, yo, like I'm trying to make music and do that for real, people are gonna be like, okay, what's your real plan? You know, so shout out to all my Europeans who are grinding, bro. I know I've been to Europe and I know what it's like to be a musician over there. So yeah, it's dope, still dope place. I love Europe. So yeah, Central Cee vocal preset with and without. I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it, also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace, gotta give it out back, no chair. I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth. So with a guy like Central Cee, I'm looking for a somewhat of an airy rap vocal. Actually, it's a very different you know, approach we're going here with today. I'm going for air. I'm going for vocal air specifically with this song Ungrateful. I liked how he had like this kind of like wispy, feathery, like the pigeons in the skyline. You feel me? The ducks flying across the ocean type of shit. You feel me? The ducks flying north. You feel me? Type of situation. He got a nice gliding vocal that has air. So the first thing I went with is I went with the NLS bus, right? I went with the EMI mic preset. So that's giving a good amount of vocal air to Central Cee, you know, just understanding the color of this type of saturation. It gives the vocal a nice little air, but it also has a way of deharshing the vocal. So, you know, we going for buy one, get one free with this plugin. You know, we deharshing the vocal a little bit and getting some air, understanding the tone of the EMI console from back in the day. And EMI is in England, and, you know, Central Cee is from England, so it's a familiar tone that's matching where they met the motherfucker from, you feel me? I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it, also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace. So I love kind of using that NLS best. It's a very safe way of making the vocal bright. So it's like a piece of candy when they say you're not allowed to have candy, but then you got this little piece of gum that only has a little bit of sugar in it. That's the NLS bust to me. I just want to make it sweet by just a little bit, like a little gumdrop type of shit. Shep's omni-channel, okay? We pushing even order harmonics because we trying to thicken up his vocal because we trying to cut the lows and everything like that. With Central Cee, a guy like that is rapping very fast, so you don't want the vocal to be like a situation where it's a camel. You know, a camel can't move fast because he got that big ass hump and all that shit on his back, you feel me? So because he's kind of rapping fast, I want the vocal to still appear like it has body, but that's where I'm gonna cut off a good amount of low end. So I'm cutting off the lows. I'm boosting a little bit of the top, you feel me? Like with the high shelf, and the high shelf gives a little bit of the wiggle room, you feel me, like a worm in the ground, like Jason Derulo, wiggle, or whatever type shit. And then we're using a VCA compressor. A VCA compressor gives some emphasis, right? I'm taking a Sharpie marker, right? I'm taking a highlighter, you feel me? I'm taking a pen and I'm underlining the mid-range of his vocal on purpose by purposely picking that compressor. I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace, gotta give it out back. No charity work, try to write up.
Not to say I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing it. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone, no.
So it's kind of like we just shifting the junk in the room, in our room, like all the junk in the room, and we're shifting it into a trash bin. You feel me? A trash bin, or we're shifting it into the closet. You know, we're taking all the low end, we're kind of just putting it upwards through the dynamics. So you see the VCA is only working like here and there on certain words. It's more of a tonal thing. It's not something I want to compress the whole time. Then we have a waves de-ester. Everybody knows what the waves de-ester doing. We're doing like a couple dBs, understanding like his English accent and also the speed that he's rapping at, the flow of the rapper is very important to know because fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I probably my pride in different discipline beat key. You feel me? Like all that type of stuff is a lot of consonants. So we're gonna split that job up. You feel me? Between two kids. Okay, one is gonna draw on the poster, and the other one is gonna cut out the pictures, the paste on the poster. So two kids. You feel me? Two de-esters are gonna be doing the job equally.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the.
All right, and then my other de-esser is gonna come through the Waves C6. So most importantly right here, this is gonna be my second de-esser. I prefer to use maybe like multiband compressors because I get to change the attack and the release. So that's kind of like an advantage of using a multiband compressor over a de-esser. So you could still use like something like a C4, like a de-esser or a C6, but it will give you some advantages. Maybe you want to have the release time be a little bit slower. Maybe you want it to hold on to the S's a little bit longer because maybe the rapper's flow is a little bit slower, type shit like that. So always pay attention to the speed of the rapper's flow and try to make sure like the speed of the rapper in the multiband is like a mime. You know how a mime is gonna copy your ass, everything you do, the mime is gonna be like, oh, I'm right here with you, Simon Says type shit. You want your compressor to be like Simon Says and like, go based off of the timing of the vocal, you feel me? Because the vocal is a situation too where, we shelving off a little bit of that low end as well with a low shelf, and the release time is slow. I want my lower end frequencies to be more solid. If I was to make it faster, the low end would jump all over the place and it would be like two kids on a trampoline. I can't control either one of them.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace, gotta give it out back, no charity.
Not to say I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing it. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone.
So it's like with Central Cee vocal, all of his S's and all of his nuances are still coming. They're coming through. You feel me? They're coming through for the most part. They're not just completely clamped down on. So sometimes if you over compress, you can lose some of those low level details. Like you go to a museum and you're looking at a painting and you can just see all the little spots and the little pixels of oil on the painting. All those little details, all those fine, details is what makes a piece of art great. And a vocal is like a piece of art. You feel me? In a gallery over the beat. You feel me? The beat is the gallery that is holding the vocal type shit. So after that, we got an RVOX. RVOX just bringing a little bit of that. A little bit of that big body to the vocal.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace, gotta give it up.
So we're kind of using the RVOX to just help the vocal come forward. You pretty much it's kind of giving us like a low mid pop. You feel me? Like a little bit low mid pop. All right, and then after that, we have the REQ, you feel me? Just kind of like getting our mid-range on point and doing another high shelf. The high shelf just kind of makes the vocals feel a little bit more glassy. So I would be very precautionate on how many high shelves to use. Maybe only use like one max, and once you get your ear to be more trained, high shelves are very dangerous because all of this stuff right here, you can't even hear it. Like 15K, 16, 17, 18, you can't even hear that shit. You feel me? You really can't hear it. You can't hear it and it's taking up space from the vocal. But if you know how to strategically do it, like I'm doing the high shelf, but then I got my silk vocal eating up the high end, you feel me? Well, I think that's a good way to approach it, getting those airy vocals, but not having it being overly bearing,
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also I fucked up, I'm admitting it.
I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing it. Creep in the change. Not to say I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing it. Creep in the changing room at school and tea from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with.
You know, I compare that situation to like socks. You know how when you put on a pair of socks, right? You might have two types of socks that are both low cut socks. So, right? So they're like the same shape, right? But then one of them has like a certain cotton and the other one has like polyester in it. So they feel different. Like when I put the vocal, when I unmute the vocal and I put it over like the original song, you hear that it's not only the fact that it sounds the same, because the sound is one thing, but it also feels the same. You feel me? It has like this. They both feel like they're made out of the same material, you feel me? So that's coming down to the texture. And I feel like getting that texture came down to the high shelf too, you know, and also the EMI console, that airy vocal, but in a very musical way, you know what I mean? And then we're using the fresh air.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and tea from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon in it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace, gotta give it out back, no cherry. I fucked up, I'm admitting it.
I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and say that I'm missing it. Creep in the changing room at school and tea from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon.
After that, we have another de-esser right here, and I always use this de-esser consistently every time I use fresh air, because like how I just said, you know, previously, like there's gonna be a bunch of dead air, 15K, 16K, 17K, all that stuff that's just taking up space from my ear, being able to concentrate. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, those pictures when you gotta like verify to log into like your Instagram account or some shit, and it's like, oh yeah, pick out the dog in this picture, and it's like a bunch of other clowns and all this other crazy shit that's trying to distract you, you know, on purpose, because you know that when you have things around something, it kind of makes it harder to focus on. So what I'm doing is, because I'm using that de-esser, I'm kind of flattening out all that stuff that we can't even hear anyways, all that stuff that we can't hear, like 12K, 13, 14K, that's just kind of taking away focus from our ears being able to hear the actual, you know, true high mid of the vocal, you feel me? So that's why I have that de-esser there doing a few dBs. And after that, we have the waves silk vocal, and you know, I love using the silk vocal to control the low end especially, and like how I said, you know, doing those two high shelves back to back, doing a high shelf right here, a high shelf right there. I just wanted to keep myself in check using a helping hand from the wave silk vocal.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and tea from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon in it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and tea from the kids that are privileged.
Yeah, so that's why we use that. After that, we have a quarter note delay. We already know what that shit does, man. Quarter, nickel, dime, penny delay. It's a fucking delay, my guy, okay? And then after that, we have the REQ4. The REQ4, I don't know why I did this move. I just kind of didn't want to double up on that mid-range, because that high mid was already so present from my lead vocal chain that you know, every time you do like an effect, like a reverb or delay, just know like you're kind of like duplicating whatever frequencies and blending it back in, you know what I mean? So I didn't want my reverb to react to all that high mid, because it was already so dense. It was kind of giving like an aluminum foil, a trash can type of tinny, you know, type of, you know, scratching. When somebody scratches a car, it makes a nasty noise, you know, type of situation. So I just made sure I cut out all that high mid before I even hit this many reverb, and we use the large chamber. And chambers reverbs have a great way of adding clarity to a vocal, because they have low diffusion and they're highly reflective, you feel me? So that just pretty much means low diffusion means that the reverb is going to not be warm, it's going to be plastically, it's going to be very thin, you know, very thin, very easy to poke through for the vocal, right? So that's why, knowing it's a chamber reverb, I cut out the high mid. So this is why you gotta fucking know your shit, bro.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride and said that I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and tea from the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon in it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. Now I got peace, gotta give it out back. No charity work, try to write.
So you hear how like when we took out that EQ, just all the S's and all that stuff like that from that Central Cee vocal is kind of just boom, boom, you know, being like Mike Tyson slapping around the goddamn reverb, and it's kind of overbearing. You know what I mean? It's somewhat overbearing. So, you know, me already knowing it's a chamber reverb, that's why I went back there and changed this, right? So when you put an EQ before, you're changing the way the reverb is gonna react to the vocal. When you put it after the fact, maybe you like the way the reverb is reacting to the vocal, you just wanna, you know, change what's already there. We have a waves doubler. Man, we already know what a damn doubler do. And then to get a little bit more vocal air, specifically a natural, you know, non-GMO, straw burst, processed candy type of sweetness to the vocal. I used something natural, which was the Puig Child 670. All right. So just knowing those tubes, they have a nice way of adding a little bit of gloss to the vocal, a nice little bit of wax, spit shine.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride instead of I'm missing. Creep in the chain. I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride instead of I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. I got.
So that's why I love using something like the Puig Child, because this is like a very secret way of getting vocal air. Take that 670 and blend it in parallel. Sometimes when you just even open up the 670, it will just instantly make the vocal brighter, but it has a very beautiful way of making the vocals brighter because it's using tubes. It's not using like a digital EQ or purposely a high shelf. It's just using the actual saturation of the tubes to make the vocals brighter. So the adlibs, we want the adlibs to be very smooth, right? We want the lead vocal to be like that fighter jet, which has the air, right, but is somewhat more aggressive. And then now we want this ad-libs to be like just kind of like a regular casual commercial plane that's just cruising through the air type shit, right? So both of them are gonna have some sort of brightness, but to varying degrees at varying speeds. So I'm using the NLS bus because that's gonna smoothen out the ad-libs. I'm using the Fairchild again to kind of compress the ad-lib.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride instead of I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with
And see, that's something that I always talk about. Like, you see how the needle of the Fairchild is still taking like forever to react to the vocal, you feel me? Like to react to the ad-libs. Like it's still in the process of holding onto the ad-lib, right? It's still holding onto the ad-lib even though it's not playing. That's why you gotta always be thinking about how quick the rapper is rapping type shit. I kind of did that on purpose here because the fact that the ad-lib hits, but the compressor is still compressing, it's still like boosting up the noise floor of the ad-libs type shit like that, right? So that's pulling up the nuances of the ad-libs. Fuck, I got no ego. Creep in the room. You feel me? Like room, all that type of stuff. The sustain of the ad-libs is starting to come up because even when they're not playing, the Fairchild is still holding on to it. So, usually when we have a slower tempo a vocal, you want to use like a Fairchild, you feel me? Or if you're gonna use it, just use it very lightly, all right? Because it has a very slow release. And after that, we use the Wave Silk vocal, just to kind of control our high end. We use like a regular delay, regular delay. We use the regular reverb. They gonna say, oh, what was the magic reverb preset? In the comments, no, it's just regular stock reverb.
I fucked up, I'm admitting it. I got no ego, I got no shame. I swallow my pride instead of I'm missing. Creep in the changing room at the school and teeth and the kids that are privileged. Stolen clothes with a ribbon it. Also stolen phone, no cement in. I got peace, gotta give it out back, no charity work.
So it's like when you hear the when I pull out the Fairchild, like the got even longer. You know what I mean? Like how I said, the Fairchild is still holding, like, god damn, that greedy ass Fairchild, man. That motherfucker still holding on to that ad-lib. What the hell? I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. We went over everything today. If you guys do like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, down below, drop more suggestions for artists. If you want to get the preset, check it in the description. And I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Appreciate y'all now, YouTube gang. Peace.